Hey, happy Tuesday. Welcome to Talk Tuesday. Talk Tuesday is our weekly segment where we go over tips to help you enhance your finances. Um, if you've been here before, welcome back. If this is your first time, thank you for joining. Don't forget to subscribe so you can be alerted every time we go live, which is every week at 6 p.m. on Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, that is. This month, we're discussing savings. Last week, we discussed savings. What is it? Why is it important? This week we're going to go into the different types of savings accounts. Hey, thank you all for hopping in here. Um, hey. All right, let's start off with today's my grandma's birthday. So right, happy birthday, grandma, in the chat for me. That's why I was a little bit late. I was just trying to get her on the line and someone just contacted me literally right before I was getting on. So hey, thank you for hopping on. Yes. All right, so I'm gonna get right into it. Have you set your savings goal? You know, we talked about it last week and how important it is. Have you set a savings goal? Savings goal. Thank you. So we're going to talk about the different types, the different features. There's different type of accounts, and knowing the difference will help you to pick the better account, the best account for you. But let me know. Definitely, I'm sure all of you have a savings account. Put in the chat maybe the type of savings account that you have. We're going to go over four today. Possibly I'll go over the one that you have, and you'll learn about something new, and maybe you can use that to better to decide, do I need to get a different one, or is the one I have perfect for me already? Thank you. Hey, thank you for popping in. All right, so we're first going to talk about traditional savings accounts. So those are typically at a regular bank or a credit union. And for those, a benefit is it's easier to get. They don't have, more than likely, they don't have limits that you have to have a certain amount in your bank account. You know, it's easy to go in and get your money out when necessary. And like a negative to them would be that your interest in that savings account is not going to grow that fast. Now, typically, a credit union will grow quicker than a typical or a traditional bank, but those are your probably your lowest interest accounts that you would run into when it comes to your savings. Thank you all for hopping on. I appreciate you all. The next one we're going to talk about is the high yield savings account. Now, don't forget to put the type of bank account that you have in the chat so we can see if it's the one I'm going to be talking about. No bank account is a bad bank account as far as savings goes because you have to have what's best for you. What's good for you might not be good for someone else. So it's no comparing. So don't feel like anything in regards to your savings account. The plus is having one. And then the double plus is having something in it. Okay. All right. So high yield savings accounts, those ones are typically online. So a benefit for them is typically grows your interest faster. So we want that. We want more interest. We want to build that. Yes, I have a traditional too. Yes, so it grows it faster. A negative would be that it has certain limits. You have to have a certain amount in there. So sometimes we want to build our savings and we're just starting out and we want to build that interest. We want to build it quicker. And then it's almost like a setback because you can't get into these accounts because they require you to have a certain amount that you just haven't built yet. So if you're in that position and maybe you want to get to a different type of account and build it quicker, start with your traditional and get it up to the threshold to what you need for the high yield, and then just shift the money over to where you're at, to the limit that they have, so you can get your money in there and get it to be building a little bit quicker. Yes, credit union is my favorite. Let's see. The next one I have to talk about is CDs. Have you ever heard of CDs? So we always hear CDs. Typically, we hear CDs. We don't hear the full name, which is certificates of deposit. For those, a benefit for those is you actually know when you put your money in here today, and then, well, they have time limits too. So I guess let me start with the negative. The negative, they have time limits. So unless you can afford to put your money away and not need it for a period of time, like you literally, it's going to be hard for you to get it back. So with them, you'll have it many moons ago. So if with those you have you put your money in there and then send it for a certain amount of time, and you know when I put it in today, in 3 years when I pull it out, exactly how much money you're gonna have, because they tell you the interest, they tell you what you're gonna get quarterly or when you're gonna get, however, whenever the interest is added to it. Whereas now, if you needed that money and it was important for you to get that money and you just had to get an emergency, you're going to pay a penalty, which is going to, lose money. So those are ones I wouldn't suggest unless you literally have money you can put aside, you don't need, you don't plan on needing, and then let it just grow. PSECU, yes, that's and actually, you know what? That is a bank that's associated with my employer, and I now see it online. Like different tax gurus talk about that. Business owners, they'll say like, get that account because they're going to give you this, they're going to give you that at this bank, and it just surprises me to hear people talk about a bank, in our state. So that is cool. That's cool. I have a credit union account, and when I first started working years ago, I was big on CDs. Yes, because CDs are good. CDs are good because if you really can afford to put the money to the side, they're good because you know what you're going to be getting in the future. You know what's happening with it. You don't have to worry about it. But if you're, have a life where things happen a little, more often than not, then that won't be a little bit risky for you and could be hard for you because you would end up losing more than you would gain. Let's see. We're going to go into money market accounts, which are similar to the high yield accounts, but the money market account is kind of like a mix between the checking and the savings account because you can write checks, not a lot, but you can write a little check if you needed to, but there are limits. And also you have, the higher savings interest rate. So you will build the interest with that. However, if you needed your money, you'd have to more than likely transfer it to another bank to get it. Like it wouldn't come straight to you. You had to send it to probably your traditional bank to get that money out. And then that's what you would do to get to your money. And it's gotta flip my little paper over, y'all. But it's easier to access your money. But it's important to understand, what you're saving for, what you're saving towards, which how long you're trying to save, what you're trying to get to. And to do that, you need the best savings account for your goals. So I would definitely recommend first set your savings goal so you know what you're working towards and you know what will be best for it. So if I need to build my money up quicker and I really don't need it right now, then you can put it in the account that's going to build your interest. Now, if you know like you have a certain amount of time and maybe a CD and you checked it out and that amount that's going to get is going to grow to by the time you take it out is what you need, then that's perfect. But I would say definitely compare because a lot of times we'll go with one bank, we don't even check and see what another bank has to offer, what another account has to offer. A lot of times we just go with the norm, what we hear when it's so important. Check how what is the limits to how much you have to put in there. Can I start my account with $10? Do I have to start my account with 2,000? See that. Read the terms and conditions. A lot of times we fail to read the terms and conditions. We just jump in here. We see something shiny, something something good. And we're like, oh, let me do this. And then we run into an issue where possibly maybe we need our money. And that happens to be the account we can't get our money out of. So you have to look into that. Check the terms and conditions. Check and see the minimums. See the interest rate. See if it's an interest rate that will kind of stay the same more than likely, or is it one that's going to fluctuate? And right now with the economy and with them keep increasing the interest rate so that we can avoid what they call the recession. So now interest rates are actually a little bit higher. I'm seeing online accounts. There's a Capital One account that I love, a savings account that they have like 4% interest. Like we would never see anything like that. We would get two. I think when I started with them, it was like 2.5. So right now, yes, the interest rates are going up. So when we have to pay off our credit cards, we're paying more interest, unfortunately. But you got to appreciate what you can appreciate. So you pay your debt off quicker, so you don't have to pay extra in that interest. But then also you're able to build your savings up quicker because the interest rates are higher because they keep increasing them. Now, of course, if you're going to buy a house or something like that, and then we don't want our interest rate to be high because we're going to pay more for our house, but we can always refinance later and try to do different things. So you have to weigh your options. Excuse me. So I would say, let me see my notes that I have. Oh, and that was my notes. Compare your options, read your terms and conditions, and if you need help, don't be afraid to talk to someone. Run into the bank, ask questions. Don't feel pressured. Just because you go ask questions doesn't mean you have to, work with them. If it's an online bank, set up a call. Don't feel pressure. Don't let them pressure you. And just, be content when you get on the phone. Like maybe I'm not making a decision today. I have to call this many banks. Set an amount to create or not banks, but institutions, financial institutions, because there are different types. So definitely look into it, compare, and use the different types from knowing the different types now to see which one best suits you and your financial goals. I want to thank you all for hopping on here with me. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. If not, definitely join me next week. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I want to remind you that this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm having my first financial Fun Fest, which is also a celebration to my 2 years in business. So we're going to have money tips, money games, money trivia, and giveaways. It's free, it's virtual. Join us right after the live. I'm going to put it in the chat. Definitely want you all to be there with me to have some fun. It's not going to be like super duper long, so don't feel like, if I go, am I going to be stuck there forever? Because you know how I am with the live. I get in, I give you the information, and we're out. So on that call or on that Zoom, we're going to get in, we're going to have fun, we're going to learn something, we're going to win prizes. Then we're going to go over with our evening, go on with our evening. You're very, very welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, the fine print. We have to watch for the fine print. I'm sorry, I was just steady focused. It wasn't looking at the chat. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you because you could be anywhere, but you're here with me tuning in live or watching a replay. I thank you too for watching the replay. Share this with someone who you think can benefit if they need to know more about the different types of savings accounts. Go check out other videos. We talk about all different things. And I don't know. That's it. That's it, guys. See you later and enjoy the rest of your day. Happy budgeting.